Hello, third graders. So we are back here and we are going to go into lesson 6 today. So yesterday we talked a lot about how multiplication and division talk about an unknown, something we don't know. And an unknown is an answer or a number that's missing. It could be a factor in a multiplication equation. It could be one of the numbers in our division sentence. So sometimes we don't know our multiplication answer. That's unknown. Sometimes it might be one of our factors, like the number of groups. Sometimes it might be the size of the groups. So yesterday we talked a lot about that. Today we are going to talk a little bit more about unknowns, but specifically in division. So we're going to start by looking at an array. Now remember, an array is a design of equal rows and columns. So if we look at this array right here, now we know that all the dots are the total amount that we have. We know that each row stands for one part, and we know that the number of rows stands for another part. So when we're talking about division, if we were writing this as a multiplication equation, we would put that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 rows times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each row equals, and if we were to count by fives, 5, 10, 15, 20. But if we're doing division, it's slightly different. If we're doing division, we always start with our total first. So we would say that there are 20 total circles. And then we would divide it, and we would say that there are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each group. And then we would say that it equals the 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. Total number, the size of the groups, the number of groups. Number of groups, size of the groups, total. Sorry, let me say that again. Number of groups, size of the groups, total. Total, size of the groups, number of groups. Notice there's some similarities there. There's some things that they share. Let's take a look at another example. Now, if I have this division equation, (15) divided by 3 equals 5. Remember, this number right here, just like the answer to multiplication equation has a name, it's called the product. This number right here would be called the quotient. The quotient is the answer you get when you divide two numbers. So this number that I just underlined is the quotient. Okay? So I want my quotient, or my answer, to be the size of the groups. Okay? Not the number of groups like the last example, but the size of my groups. So I'm going to have 15 total circles. I'm going to have 3 groups or 3 rows, and then my quotient tells me that I'm going to have 5 in each group or in each row. So I would say there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, 15 total circles, but this time, instead of this being the number in each group, I wanted this to be the number of groups. And then my 5 is how many are in each group. Now, I could write this as a multiplication equation as well. If I look here, I say that I have 1, 2, 3 rows of, or times, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each row. And of course, we know that that equals 15. So in my multiplication equation, we find my quotient right here, right in the second number, okay? It's the size of the groups. It's one of the factors in my multiplication equation, but it's the quotient in my division sentence. Are we starting to see how multiplication and division are very related? So my quotient right here is one of the factors in my multiplication equation, and my product is one of the numbers in my division sentence. We can see all the circles. It really stands out. We see that 5 in both places. Let's take a look at another one. What if I had this multiplication sentence right here? Blank times 3 equals 24. We are missing one of our factors. We're missing our very first factor right here. Well, what do? I can skip count, which is why Mrs. Gills has been having us count every time we're on Google Meets together. But I could skip count by, how much can I skip count by? I could skip count by 3. So I'm going to write this down so I keep track of it. Are you ready? 3, 6, 9, 12, and I'm going to stop when I get to 24. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. I stop because I'm at my product. I'm at my answer. So now to figure out what times 3 equals 24, I'm just going to count how many times I skip counted by 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So now I know that 8 threes, or 8 times 3, equals 24. I could write this as a division sentence. I started, this is going to be the first number of my division problem, with 24. I divided it into groups of 3. That's why I skip counted by 3s, because it was groups of 3. And when I count, that gave me 8 groups of 3s. These two problems are related. 8 times 3 equals 24 is related to 24 divided by 3s equals 8. We can see that the unknown from this problem is the quotient in this one. Okay, remember the quotient's the answer. They are related. The unknown in my multiplication equation was the quotient in my next one. Let's try that with a different one. Let's do a 2. So I know that blank times 2 equals 18. So I don't know what number should go there. So I'm going to skip count by 2s to figure out what would go there. And I'm going to write it down. I'm going to stop when I get to 18. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I stop because I'm at my product. I'm at 18. Now I can count the number of times I skip counted by 2s to see what number is going to go as my unknown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 2 equals 18. Now, because we know that division and multiplication are related, I'm going to write a division sentence to stand for this. So if I take a look right here, 18 is what I started with. It always goes first. Divided by groups of 2, because I counted by 2s, groups of 2, equals, now usually this would be your unknown, but I know this because I just figured it out, equals 9. So when my unknown is right here, it's the quotient in my division sentence. Division and multiplication are very related. I can use arrays, I can use skip counting, I can use equal groups to all show division or multiplication. So what I want you to do is go to part 2 of lesson 6. It's going to give you some pages in your workbook, in your math workbook to work on. Practice that, then go to part 3 and answer the questions. And if you have any questions, or if you're not sure, make sure you reach out to Mr. Rush or myself so we can help you understand. Thanks.